Well, welcome back to another lazy Sunday. It feels like it's been a while. I think mainly that's because I broke my camera and couldn't borrow that camera anymore. Well, the final result is in, and I have a new camera just there, somewhere there. It is a Panasonic Lumix G7, and so we can still do 4K stuff, which is nice. Is it a little bit dark? It might be a little bit dark. Let's brighten up a little bit. There we go. Now, today I had a choice of some things. There were these matrix boards, which are sort of spectrum analyzers or displays, bar graphs essentially, but I don't fancy doing those. There's a lot of SMD soldering, which I've done a lot of recently with my little crap clock, which is working really well, by the way. If any of you watched the live stream, you'll know I was having a bit of trouble with some LEDs, but that's all sorted now. So I took the blinking part out of the loop and just used a variable to read, and so it wrote that part of the loop every time. Anyway, it was boring. But today we're going to have a look at the Paniosonic radio that somebody suggested I make. And so I picked one up a long time ago now, and we're going to have a go at doing it. I am drinking some liquid today. It is Sunday evening, so I feel fine just having a little wee dram. Is that what it's called? Anyway, we've got our lovely radio here, various bits and bobs. Ooh, actually this might be a bit more complex than I thought it would be. Let's just get inside the packet, shall we? And let's see if we can find, oh no, it's not a Paniosonic, it's an AV Coney. So it's not the one that I saw online. So that's going to pop there, and it means nothing at all. There's nothing going to be showing through that. Interesting though. So this is an FM radio, I think, although it does say AM there, so maybe it's a dual thing. There's an awful lot of parts here, more parts than I'd expected. So, well, let's put those to one side for now, and let's have a little look at the instructions. Obviously, it's going to be difficult for me to read all of the text there, but we can look at the simple circuit diagram, which is nice. I say simple, there's a lot of components here. So IC9088 will be around somewhere. I can't see it, it's fine though, it'll be there somewhere, I'm sure. Here's our board layout. And so yeah, it's an FM board, 78 megahertz to 108 megahertz. It doesn't say anything about AM that I can see, so that might just be something they've printed on there. Yeah, it looks like it. I can't really see. Oh no, there is a switch for AM and FM just here, so there must be something going on. I won't even pretend to understand how radio circuits work, and I'm certainly not, for a Sunday build, going to go away and learn it all. So let's have a look at our circuit board and we'll start putting some components in. Oh, brilliant. I love it when this happens. So we've got the solder mask here showing us where all the bits go, which is fantastic. I love that. It makes my life an awful lot easier. So it should be relatively simple to throw all these components in. So let's get started, shall we? Oh, there's a little red thing. Oh, that's going to be the to display what frequency on, I guess. Oh, I'm going to need a multimeter to check these resistors. Let's pull all these. In fact, let's just empty out everything here. So recently I've been working on that crap clock, and boy oh boy, it's less crap than I thought it would be, but it's certainly a bit of a challenge. I think the biggest problem with it is that I didn't breadboard it first, and that means that I don't have any software ready to go with it, and I don't have really any idea how I exactly want it to function. So I know that I want it to show the time, which it does now, but I don't know if I want it to be on when you press a button or always on. It's got the ability to recharge a lithium ion battery or a lithium polymer battery, whichever, it's lithium, and also there's a space for a boost converter. but I haven't quite decided if I want it to do that. And I put in this schematic that it could be powered via USB. So that there's a jumper on there that you can short, and it means that it's powered by a USB only. But I've just not quite decided. Anyway, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and put some of these components in, and then we'll start soldering. Right, that's all the small value capacitors in, and we're going to solder this up now. So we'll just stick it down with a little bit of blue tack. This stuff is really crap. I should have spent some money on some blue tack rather than a pound. This stuff does not hold well. Just a few bits will hold it in place. That's good. Now, shall we try out the new flux pen? Well, the flux brush. So it's easy to get in there, and it is putting flux down. It's not laying it down very thickly, but I don't particularly need it to. I don't really need flux on this board, but it could be a little bit dirty. There we go, that's enough. Now let's see what the state of our soldering iron is. Could do with a little bit of a clean, and I'll just tin it up a little bit. Okay, let's get started. I've just realised my soldering iron's making a god-awful noise, like a humming, but it's really rhythmic. I don't know whether it's sitting on something that is making it ring out like that. I'm not quite sure. I've still got the small soldering iron tip on this one. I really should have changed it out. I prefer the larger one with the big wedge on it. Still, it feels nice to be doing this again, honestly. Feels like it's been a while. It's like a real mess of, I don't want to solder that hole up, a real mess of legs here. It's difficult to see which ones I need to solder and which ones I don't. Some of these pads are waiting for resistors. Oops. Should we cut some of these off, because they're getting a little bit in the way, aren't they? I'll just do a few more. That didn't work. That's better. Oops. Let's try that again. There we go. I said I was going to stop and change these out. I don't think I'm going to now. Cut off the legs just now. I think we'll just get the rest done. Oops. It's difficult to get in there. So I was wondering what you all thought of that LED clock now that it's coming along. We're sort of at the stage now where it's pretty much done, but it's the stage in any project where you just want to give up because you've achieved sort of what you wanted to achieve, which is a working clock. And now I imagine it will sit on my bench for a long time until I get around to programming what all the buttons do and how you set the time, because at the moment it's just set via the upload time of the sketch. So it will be whatever time it is when you hit the upload using programmer button. We've done that. That one could do with a bit more. There we go. Oh, there's a few more I can see. So yeah, the clock will take a while. The weird thing is, I mean, it's not like people don't make those kind of clocks all the time. There's nothing really special about my one. It was only a bit of fun, so if it doesn't really turn out very well, then I'm not really that bothered. However, it will just be a little bit embarrassing. Right, that looks to be all of them. So I'll go and get some snips. All right, let's cut some of these legs off, shall we? These will fly everywhere. Still. Can't quite reach that one. I think more liquid encouragement is required. God, there were an awful lot of these small value resistors, lots of picofarad ones. I think there were 5 or 6 100 nanofarad ones, 104s. There's there's an SMD chip on here. I didn't see it on the other side of the board, so I wondered what it was. You know, I really should learn not to bend these legs over quite so much. So this new camera, it hopefully does 4K. Well, hopefully, I know it does. I've already tried it out, but it does 4K, but really it eats up more memory space than the last camera did, which is quite frustrating. And now I've got 2 terabytes of backup YouTube stuff already, and so having this thing, ouch, having this thing is really going to ruin it. That just hit me in the eye. I should be wearing safety specs. Yeah, I need to get a better solution for backup, or I decide that I don't need to keep backups and I just use YouTube as a backup. I don't know, but I like to keep there's a hair there, that will be one of mine. Head hairs. Right, let's just clear out some of these legs. I don't really keep them all that often. I know that some people do. Right, so that's what we've got so far. Just a sea of these little small value caps. Now let's start throwing on some stuff, shall we? Some larger components we can put in this IC. It is a TDA 2622. So TDA do little radio chips, don't they? But they also do amplifiers, so it could be an amplifier. So that one's in. What else do we have that we can bung on at the same time? We've got some larger value caps. So this is 100 microfarad, sorry. Where is that going? That's going just there. So positive on one side, negative on the other. We'll throw a bit of blue tack over the top of that. This one's massive, so it's got to be the 220, it is. And another one here, that looks like a 10, it is. I'll make sure I get these the right way around. And then one more is another 100 nanofarad, is it? Yep, it is. Right, is there anything else we can stick on there now? Let's have a look. There is a transistor. Not sure what it is, but we'll put it in if I can see where it goes. Ah, just over here. There we go. Wiggle that in. And that will do for now. I'll just push those down with some blue tack. And again over here. And we'll get those soldered up. Let's, we might as well keep using this flux pen brush since we've got it, and I want to test out whether it's worthwhile using. It does sort of gets around those pins very nicely, which is good. It is dirtying up a little bit, as you can see. But it being dirty isn't really a problem. I can always take it off and clean it. My soldering iron not very hot. I should have waited a minute. Never mind, it's working fine. I can smell something burning. I'm not sure whether it's the flux or if it's the blue tack. I hope it's not the blue tack. Right, just a few more bits. There's a little bit of a solder bridge there. Let's there we go. I'll just check that. Make sure I haven't bridged. Oh, we've missed one. Make sure I haven't bridged across those two connections. No, I don't appear to have done, but to make sure, let's just give it a little bit of a touch there, just to separate those. There we go. And then we'll get rid of those and pop some more components in. There seems to be quite a lot to put in. Again, hit me in the face there, nice. Right, let's tear those off and then just straighten these things out a little bit. Don't want them to, well, that one's not going to straighten out. Let's get the soldering iron on there and do that ourselves. There we go. Okay, let's get some of these other components in. The headphone jack can go in. Didn't realise it had one, but that's fair enough. Feel it's useful. We've got a couple of these coils here. Now I'm going to assume they're exactly the same. Oh no, 7 turns, 8 turns. I'm going to have to count. Hang on a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so that's the 8 and that's the 7. Should have done those at the same time as the little capacitors, I think, but that's not a problem. There we go, pop those in. A little bit of blue tack on top of each one, so they stay where they are. Oops. I have to try and get this thing back in now. That was annoying when I put it in the first place. Oh! Okay, I'm going to get a few more components in and then we'll come back. Okay, let's apply a little bit more flux here. I'm going to do this SMD chip as well, I think. So let's just paint over these a little bit. We've got the headphone jack in there. We've got these little inductors or chokes, I'm not quite sure. if there's a massive difference between those things. And we'll solder those on. I'm not following the instructions because I can't read them, so we are just going to go for it, which should be fine. I mean, when has anything ever gone wrong on one of my videos? That was rhetorical, by the way, just in case anyone actually felt like responding. Right, let's get this SMD chip on here as well. Tweezers. Where have you gone? There you are. And we're just going to slide this chip on. Oops. There we go, that looks fine to me. I won't do the, well, it's a little bit off, but it's fine. I won't do the drag solder method. It's it can be a little bit sketchy. So we're just going to flood these. Oh, we've got a bridge there. It's because I'm doing this in a weird way. There we go, that's gone. All the rest look to be soldered, so that's good. Oh, and there's the variable capacitor, I think it is over here, which is going to be for tuning. There's also this one, I assume that's also a variable capacitor, but maybe they're separate values. There we go. Oh, the switch. I forgot the switch. This is the AM/FM switch. We also need to solder in. Seem to have a little bit of a bridge problem going on here. That's not a huge issue. That's give it a little bit of flux. That'll help them separate. And we'll just clean our iron and then heat them up again. Except it won't. I'm just going to go and get a solder sucker and we'll do it that way. This is where I find out that they were meant to be connected all along, but I don't think they are because they have separate traces there. No, they're definitely not. I can see now. Okie doke. Well, just be a bit more careful. If I had some thinner solder, which I'm planning to buy at some point, then that would have been a lot better. Alright, just be more careful here. Just a tiny bit. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, that looks good to me. Right, not many more components to add now. Oh, bit of blue tack on the switch, not a huge issue. Now we've got this here, that seems to be a capacitor to me. Does it say which way around it goes? Not really. Does it matter? Possibly not. So I will just pop it in any way that I can fit it, which is like that. Okay, let's solder that on. There we are. Now what else do we have remaining? What's this here? Is that for that? I'm not sure. Well, let's get these resistors done. I'll grab a multimeter and I'll check those. We've got several, well, we've got lots of resistors to put in, so I'll do that now. Right, I finished looking at all those resistors and I've placed them all in, hopefully in the right place. We'll see. So let's get these soldered up. I have come across something, I don't really know what it is. Usually those things are wrapped with sort of copper wire, aren't they? And then we've got this one here, which already seems to have something in it. So I'm not quite sure what these are. We'll figure it out, hopefully. It's not my favorite kit, I have to say. With this one without instructions is actually pretty difficult to understand what's going on. I can't even see, come on now, what's going on? I'm just not at the right angle, I don't think. There we go. I'm finding it hard to see where ground is connected on this board. But I can probe that out with the multimeter, can't I? So it's not a big issue. A few more things to do here. I've thrown on the LED as well, so we'll be able to see if it works very quickly without having to connect the speaker. So we'll just be able to see if the LED glows. Right, is that everything? No, not yet. Oh, I must have missed this. It's going to take a lot of heat, isn't it? There we go, that's everything. Breathing in a lot of fumes there. Just cut these off. I'm going to hold on to them these days, I think. These days, from now on. If I think they're going to fly off and hit me in the face. Okay, I'm not holding on to them, but I should. I'm just going to close my eyes. Is that everything there? That's a little bit longer than it should be. We've got a few spare holes here, so let's have a look what they actually are. Well, it appears I'd missed out some resistors. There's a 33K there, and we've got a jumper. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a few extra bits here. So one at 4.7 and another one. Let's just pull that out there. So we've got a 4.7. So I've got 2 resistors that I can find. There's 2 there. What else do we have? 33, 4.7, and a jumper wire. Is there anything else that's missing? Doesn't appear to be. That looks like it's it. Okay, let's put those in. I have to measure them again. You know, I'm going to make a jig, so this is measuring these things is easier. So I've got 4.8, that's close enough to 4.7 for me. And pop that in. And then I'm just going to assume that this one is 33K. Oh, and it needs to be put in that sort of vertical fashion. Okay, let's get those ones soldered up. Shove a little bit of blue tack there just to hold it down. Done. Oops. See, I like this black mat, but it is getting very dirty. Now, what the devil is all this stuff? This capacitor is really standing very tall, isn't it? Let's I could probably go a bit further in on that. There we are. The massive bridge in between those. There we go. Let's just throw a bit more solder on that now that I've moved them. There we go. So what's next? We've got the little box here with a battery compartment. That's fantastic, isn't it? Kind of love that. So we pop this in, and the other one has to go on the board, I imagine, actually. How's it going to fit in the case? Let's find out. Like that-ish. What's that? That's almost right. I see, so we'll get this, I don't really know how that's going to work actually. See, it looks to me like you're meant to put this inside there, but I can't be quite sure. I mean, it certainly looks to be the right shape that you do that. Okay, I'm going to give this a bit of thought. Right, so I've been having a think, and although this board seems to have something in here already, so I've got it wrapped up, this board rather, this coil, it seems to have some kind of, I don't know, it looks like another ferrite core, and we've got one ferrite core that goes in the middle here, and I'm not really sure. That might just be a strengthening bar, maybe, but I'm going to assume that you just shove the ferrite core through there like that. And there's like an extra bit of winding. I don't know whether it's come off or not, but it isn't tinned on the end, so I'm just not going to worry about that one. We'll just use the two ones that are on there. We've got on the back of the board, we've got two sections that say AM just here, so that's where these wires are going to go from our ferrite coil. And we've got one for antenna, which goes onto this one. That's for the FM band, and this is for the AM. I'm not quite sure how it's all going to fit in, but I've started placing some bits into the case. Just the battery connectors, thought that would be pretty easy to get sorted. And then we're almost there. It's a bit of screwing things in now, so I'll do a bit of that, and then I'll come back to you. But it's been a bit of a chore because all of this is in Chinese, so figuring out what you're meant to do first is not easy. Okay, I'll be back. Right, I've been playing around a little bit, and this is sort of what I think it's meant to be like. So I've screwed on the knobs here, and there's this red plastic thing which I think is going to be the indicator on the front of the box to show what the frequency is, or roughly what the frequency is. I figured out there's a little plastic thing that was floating around, and that appears to be what the ferrite core is going to slide into to hold it in place. I've also got the aerial here. Does it plug into this one? Yeah. Which slides in here and then is screwed in. And I think I'm going to have to solder to the screw itself, and then that will go onto the board. So it's getting there. It's pretty much done. We've got a speaker as well. I need to find out where that goes onto. There is a speaker pin somewhere on here, SP just there, and then another one which I think is ground, just power and ground, I guess. I think, but I don't know what that one is. This one is taking ages. Right, we're getting somewhere now. Cooking with gas, as they say. What I need to do is screw this in. So all I've done is pop the board in. I've soldered on the speaker, hopefully the right way around, because I've covered up the symbols now. I'm just going to screw in the antenna. And then, whoops. Then we'll solder the wire on. Which seems a bit weird to me, but that's what we're going to do. It's quite stiff. Do I have a wire? Which way does that go on? Not that way. Like that. So the antenna, oh I see, I've used that little bit of wire for something else. I will get some more. I've got some rather fetching pink wire that we're going to be using. I'm going to be using these, I don't actually know what they're called. Weird jaws things. I don't need an awful lot of wire, that will do. Let's get a little twizzle. There we go. And let's solder this end on. Do I know exactly where it's going? Yeah, I do. There we go. And then that will go like that. Okay. So I won't do that just yet. I'm sure there should be a better way of doing it than that. Seems very odd. Right, so we've got the batteries. Actually, we'll screw everything in first, shall we? Let's pop this one in. Oops. Oh, magnetism, I hate you so much. Am I meant to go through the case with that one? Let's have a look. Yes, I am. Are there any I'm not meant to? 1, 2, that one. So we'll use this little one. There we go, it's nice and secure. And there's another little one here, so it must mean there's another hole to put that in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. No, there isn't. It appears to be spare. We have got a hole there. I'm not quite sure what that was for. Perhaps I was meant to put the battery wires through there. Never mind. Oh, look at that. Right, we're going to have to make this quick now because I'm just about out of memory card space. This thing has taken a lot longer than I expected. Now I've traced out where the power and ground need to go, and now I just need to figure out where the speakers are going to go. So I'm going to pop this one here because it looks to me like that's where it's meant to go. If I can hold that wire on. That will do, and then the other speaker can go, speaker wire can just go over here. Okay, that can sit nicely in there. And what else is there left to do? We've got a little switch. Let's not worry about that too much. Let's pop the case on. Fantastic. The wire for the aerials come off. Right, I'll get the screwdriver out. Right, I've just wrapped the wire around the aerial, so hopefully that will be sufficient. Now I just need to make sure we can get this case on properly. A few little niggling bits, and then we'll be just about done. Oops. Try and be a little bit more accurate there. There we go, I'll leave the other side. Let's plug some batteries in. And I hear something already. Not very much of something. Let's switch over to FM. There we are, we're on the FM band now. And I hear nothing. Oh no, this is FM. Oh, you can hear the soldering iron there. Or something. Now I can't hear anything at all. Wow.
Don't matter. We can pick it up later. Sure, we can send a
Well, that sounds a lot like Radio 4.
I don't know you. I don't know you.
So I think we must be in the AM band.
Unless necessary.
It's certainly not FM. That's this switch on top is really rubbish. Well, I can safely say
What are they doing to her? What are they doing? No, honey, no.
that it's not brilliant.
Don't look.
If you're happy just to listen to Radio 4, then yeah, maybe it's good, but it's a bit crap. I can't seem to get the AM band working at all. I may have soldered something on wrong, but that's the way it goes with these things. There we are. That kind of looks cool though, doesn't it? I sort of like it. Well, there we go. End of. Not too happy with it. I like how rubbish it is, but other than that, it can just sit on my shelf for a while. I'm never going to use it. In case of zombie apocalypse, perhaps, but other than that, it will just be as is. All right. Well, thanks a lot for watching what was quite a crappy, lazy Sunday. Not overly impressed, but we'll have next time. We'll have some LED matrix kits to do. So I think we've got 2, and I think we might do them in the same video if possible. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you soon.